You can also use Cloud Code to retrieve data. We're going to code a function that reads some parameters and retrieve data related to those parameters. And in order to do that, I'm going to use curl, which is a console application that makes HTTP and HTTPS requests. You can use any tool that you want. I'm familiar with curl, but any HTTP, HTTPS application that can make requests and pass parameters will do just fine. So here in our main.js, I'm going to add some code. This is defining a Cloud Code function that's called getUser, which will bring me a user based on the object ID passed. Basically what it does is it instantiates a query on the user class, which is the class that is storing my user at the moment, and we'll try to find inside this class a object ID that I will be passing on with the name user in the request parameters. So I'll get to that later, but once I can find that object, I will print a response with my username, which is also in the class as well. And if I don't find any, I will print an error message. All right. So basically, I'm going to save this and publish it with before I deploy. As you can see, as on the old code, I have a response success and a response error to tell parse that my code ended executing. And now I have to go to another console and fill some data with curl so I can call that method. So for curl, the syntax is curl, and then I have the post header, and inside the header I have to pass my parse application ID. This must be written in this correct syntax or it won't work. So this is my application ID that you can get from your server settings. And core settings, the application ID, and the header must be named xparse application ID. After that, I have another header that's called xparse REST API key, which is the REST API key, which is here. And then I have to set my content type as application JSON. And for my parameters, I'm going to pass a parameter called user, which is the parameter I'm going to specify here. It must be the same name. And I'm using the value of the key of my user, which is stored on my personal user on the dashboard. So it is the value that is here. So I'm going to search for this value. And the endpoint always will be https parseapi.backforapp.com/functions/ the function name that you put in your Cloud Code here, so get user. All right. So if I just run this, it used my ID here to retrieve my full name from the username. If I passed a string that does not exist, for instance, ABC123. I have my error message that is written on my code right there. Alright, so you can also use Cloud Code to retrieve data as well.